Hello, I am Nolan Barton's mama, and I am sick in bed with sinuses and cough and stuff. I think it's the pollen and all that, but I wanted to go ahead and make a video. My husband's working, so I figured I would just make the video myself and answer the questions that are on the sheet that I've been filling out, the application. So the question is, if he was to, hold on, let me find it. Sorry, I lost it. But yeah, Nolan's in school right now. So while he's in school, I'm just trying to rest and get rid of all this gunk that I've got going on. But the question is, if he was to come home devastated by the failure of an important project, and he complained about the process and the end goals and the lack of help, who will I call or write, and what will I say? So, I mean, I would assume I would probably call or write or text the teacher to find out what to find out the full story and what went down. Find out why Nolan is feeling defeated by the project and why he's devastated about devastated over the failure. And get her side of the story first. Find out if he, I guess, find out if he gave his full potential during the project, if there was really a lack of help, and if there was some unclear goals, and then of course just find out her side of the story and find out what basically what went on. Excuse me. I would do this while I'm well, except we're moving in, July. So I wanted to, and I don't know how many spots you have left. So I wanted to go ahead and get this application sent in because I really want him to get into this school. So I figured I would just go ahead and do it from the bed. So anyway, I would find out so to get back on track, I would find out from the teacher what went on, the full story. If she or he were to come back and say, well, this was, from A to Z, this is what was explained to the children. So they did have some clear goals. We also did guide them in the correct, in the correct way to achieve their goals. Sorry, also my voice sounds a little raspy. But if the teacher was to say that basically everything went as planned, like it does in most all of the projects, then I would say, okay, well, that's good to know. I will talk with Nolan about it and find out why he feels this way and what he necessarily thinks differently about the project compared to what the teacher thinks. But I will have him take accountability for a project that didn't get a good review based on the fact that, if he didn't give it his all, then I would explain that to him, that you're not going to see the end result that you want if you're not putting all your effort into it. And I would also ask him, when the teacher was setting the goals, when the teacher was giving the help, were you listening? Were you using your listening ears and actually understanding what she was saying? And if you did it, why would you not go and ask the teacher for additional help? Because that's my biggest thing is, you know, if he's struggling, he needs to know that he needs to go ask for help. And he typically does not like to get help. So I hope that with the Acton Academy, it helps him to understand that he needs to seek out advice if he is not understanding something. Because a lot of times, if he doesn't understand, he's kind of scared to ask for help or get advice because he wants to be able to do it on his own. And he wants to understand that, or he wants to think that he knows what he's talking about, even when he doesn't. So, like the main thing is, you know, accountability, making him understand that just because, you know, the project was a failed project, it doesn't mean that it was based on the fact that he had a lack of help, or that it was unfair, or that there were not end goals that he was supposed to meet. That he has to give it his all. And accepting accountability is what happens when you don't give it your all and you don't get the result that you want in the end. So, so I would explain that to him. And if it was, you know, obviously an even bigger issue, then I would probably go into more detail with the teacher and find out what the problems are behind. But Nolan's not really, I don't think, one that's going to, what I would say, cause a disruption if he doesn't have to. He obviously is very strong-willed and stubborn with us, but at school, you know, he doesn't cause a disruption. He doesn't argue. He doesn't, you know, cause problems, you know, or drama, so to speak. So, I don't see him as being the type that's really going to come back at the teacher and say, you know, oh no, there was no end goal, and there was not this, and there was not that, and that's the reason why I got a failed grade. Like, I'm pretty sure he would take accountability after he was explained the reason that the project did not make it and did fail. So, I think accountability is honestly a big thing with children, because a lot of kids aren't going or don't understand how to take accountability, and they don't understand that they have to work at a process in order to get the result that they want in the end. So I think that having that accountability in school is very beneficial, and that it will help him even in other areas of his life to accept responsibility when things don't go his way, and to accept responsibility if he didn't give it his all. Because the biggest thing is that, you know, at 5 years old, he's still in that age bracket where he thinks that if it doesn't just happen miraculously, then he's just not good at it. Or if it's not easy for him, then he wants to easily give up. And with the Acton Academy, I really hope that he learns to really work hard and use that focus and use that patience that he can bring out of himself in order to get to what he really wants or needs in the end. Instead of just thinking everything is supposed to come easy for him, because that's not life, right? So, so yeah, that's probably my you know, best answer is that I would write and or call the teacher, find out what happened. I'm not somebody that's going to call the teacher and blast them out or write a nasty email or anything like that to the teacher, because I understand that there's two sides to every story, and that children aren't always going to give you the full story if they come home with a failed grade. So, I mean, as a parent, we all know kids cannot give the whole story. So I would be very nice with the teacher. I would write him or her, ask for the background behind it, and find out what happened. And then I would, and then if it did turn out that it was a lack of help and an unfair process and unclear end goals, then I would probably ask the teacher if there was a way to maybe redo the project. Maybe I don't know if maybe it would have something to do with the group that he was working with. Maybe he didn't work well with the group that he was particularly in, which obviously children need to learn to work with all sorts of people. So he would need to learn how to work with different groups and it not be, the same people all the time, so that he is pushed out of his comfort zone. Um, but if it did turn out that there was a problem with the lack of help, then and the lack of unclear goals, and that it was truly unfair, then I would probably just ask if there was a way that my child could repeat the project, or maybe do some of it at home or something like that. But there wouldn't be any harsh words or anything like that. I would just work with the teacher on how to get moving forward and how to get the result that we want, basically. I don't think that it would go past the teacher. I mean, I don't think there would be any reason to really call or write the head of the school or the administration or anything like that. Unless, of course, there was an issue with the teacher. If there was a problem, I'm not going to go and write the administration after one problem with a project. But if it obviously became a repetitive thing where he felt like he was constantly getting failed projects and he wasn't getting a fair chance, and he wasn't giving things in an unclear he was given things in an unclear manner, and it was a constant repetitious thing, then I would probably look more into it and then ask administration about it, and then probably just ask if there was a way that maybe he get moved to a different class, because maybe it's something, maybe he just didn't, he doesn't understand the teacher, or maybe there's something, there that, and I don't necessarily know, whether our child would completely tell us the whole story about things, because sometimes he will keep things to himself. So I don't know if he would, but if it was like he was failing project after project, I would probably set up a meeting with the teacher, try to figure out what the problem is behind that. If it did turn out to be the teacher, then I would probably just write administration and ask them if there was a way that maybe he could go to another class and see how it benefited him more. But I wouldn't, jump the gun and not work with the teacher first. Like, that would be my first, second, third step, would be trying to figure out how to work things out through the teacher and figure out how to make projects a little bit, a little bit more moving forward in the ability to complete the task and get a passing grade or badge, or however, he would receive anything. So I'm sorry, I'm probably rambling and probably took way too much time on this video to answer all of that, but it is a very valuable question. And so I felt like I needed to kind of go into detail, but I'm a pretty detailed person about things, as you'll see on my application, on our application. My husband works during the day, so I'm trying to get this all completed and the school stuff completed while he's working, since he doesn't have a lot of time to. But we both listened to the video with of Jeff, and we both liked the idea behind the school, and we really hope that Nolan gets accepted, and we both think that he would really thrive at a school like this, because he's already at a Montessori-based school environment. So I understand, like, it's more unschooling, not really Montessori based, but that you have some Montessori hands-on learning. So I think that because Nolan is used to that kind of learning, that it would be really hard to just put him into a learning environment where he's sitting in desk and not being able to do hands-on, since I think being at the Montessori-based school, which they're not a Montessori school either, they're a private school, but they use Montessori-based learning, being there for the last 2 years has really kind of turned him into that kind of learner. He is great at learning based on hands-on learning and moving around and doing things of that nature. So I think it's kind of created him into a learner like that. So I think that, but I understand that with the Acton Academy, there's so much more than that will be very, very beneficial for him as he grows into a young, healthy student, and a young, healthy, happy student who thrives at school. So it was very nice to make this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm sorry that I dragged it out so long and that I'm not put together because I'm sick in bed. But I do have to go pick up my kiddo soon from school, so at least I can drive over there. But anyway, it was very nice to meet you, and I hope that we will be hearing back from y'all about the next steps. Thank you so much. Bye.